Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Believe it or not, this is my first video of the week. I've been down and out with some allergies, so we're gonna try and do this here. So I owe you guys a pocket change market report and probably a few other videos. Let's go ahead and do a Be Mine Valentine's PCMR today. My goodness, what a hell of a list of coins we have here for you today. Now, as you guys know, I like to go back and check out some market data on eBay on some of the most relevant and very findable errors and varieties. Whether you're going through coin rolls or you're casually strolling through your kids' pocket change, there's going to be ways where you can find some of these coins. And the idea is you're going to find something that you can add to your collection or resell and make a nice profit on. All right, so let's not forget that you can also find some of these cherry picking local coin shops and shows. That's also another way that you can approach this. We have a pretty good one here. We have a few coins, some oldie but goodie ones that we haven't talked about in a little while, making a little bit of a return here this week, and just to let you know that these coins are doing very well. All right, they're doing extremely well. And, like I had mentioned before, we don't typically talk about graded pieces, whether that's coins or currency, whatever the case may be. A lot of these sell for themselves, so keep the money in your pocket and then just go ahead and, sell them as they are, and you're going to realize the full market potential for these items. Outside of that, you're going to see also some of the most original photos right direct from the seller's listings. We didn't juice or doctor any of these to make them look better. So you're going to get the best and the worst. It'll give you an idea of where that bar is set on a lot of these. So I like to say that, you don't have to be a professional photo taker. Using your iPhone or Android device, you can do all of this on your own. All right. So thank you guys for all your views and support. It's been awesome. Let's go ahead and move on here with this one. And we do have a little bit of calendar of events. This is going to be a game time decision. We do have a Whatnot stream this Friday. We got the Cherry Pickers Guide giveaway part 3. It might be the last one for the month. As we have the coin show auction next Friday. Depending on how I feel, this show may or may not go on. Just to let you know, it depends on how I feel again. As this whole allergy thing has really put me down and out. So in any event, we'll be on Friday, February 16th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in joining up for the first time, I have my referral link down below in the description box. You can sign up and get yourself some store credit to use right away on the platform. It'll be like getting free coins, and there's nothing better than free right now, especially given the rate of inflation on everything else. The hobby just continues to just push along really well. All right, so I look forward to maybe seeing you on Friday. Again, I will let you guys know if I'm going to be taking the day off. All right, so let's jump in. And there's no better way to jump into something with like a beast of a item. This is a $1 silver certificate. All right, by all accounts, it's it's a relatively affordable collectible you can add to your collection. You can find uncirculated examples for between $8 and $10. But if you play your cards right and you do that cherry picking, like I said, you can find one like this on a 1957 B silver certificate. Check out the serial number. You see what I see. We definitely have a mismatched serial number. So this was done in error. Both of those numbers are supposed to match. The first actual number in each serial number is different. You have a 3 and a 4 on the other one. And the note is in pretty nice shape, albeit just a little bit miscut there, but nothing too crazy. This one ended up selling for $539.98. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we're going to kick off this edition of the PCMR. Be Mine Valentine. This is such a hot note right here. And it looks to be a very nice, crispy, uncirculated grade. The next one that we have here is more of an update on the 2023 Extra V Lincoln sets. These have the aforementioned V notch at the bottom next to the VDB initials at the base of Lincoln's bust. These are currently being purchased on the secondary market and then sent off to the grading companies. Now, this is the one coin that if you're able to get nice, pristine examples of, that I would say, without hesitation, send them off to NGC or PCGS, because these coins have been all of a sudden hot. 66 graded examples, or is one that sold for around $650, $700, and then the 67 grades have been hitting close to $1,000. So if you buy these for cheap, which most of them are if you buy the right ones, like this one here, sold for only $27.50. When we look up close to those initials, you can see that extra V notch just to the right of the B and VDB right there. That's what you're looking for. Just to let you guys know, a lot of these were dispersed in the New York State area. So if you're in that area, odds are that you could probably find one of these. It'll be one of the biggest finds that you will come across. And if they're nice enough, I would say, yeah, 100% of the time, grade them and rake in the cash. You know, that's a pretty good deal right there. All right, so this is kind of like the hottest coin going right now. Always look for these. It doesn't matter where you're at. The next one that we have here is one of my favorites. I love this coin. I actually own a few examples myself. This is a 2000p Sacagawea dollar. This is the first year of what we call at the time the golden dollar. These were a manganese alloy that gave it its gold color. But did you guys know, I'm sure a lot of you already know because we've talked about this one to no end, there is a really nice variety that you can find on here called the Wounded Eagle Reverse. So when we flip this thing over, and please do note the condition of this example, you're going to find these two nice heavy die gouges right here on the eagle's body and going into the wing right there. So you have that one really long one and then a shorter one just to the left of that. That's the Wounded Eagle. It's a Cherry Picker's Guide variety. I believe they call it the FS901 as the catalog number. And this particular example, in this condition, sold for $88.98. It's a coin that carries a good fair amount of value across all grade levels. So if you did find one, and keep in mind, these coins are 24 years old, so a lot of them are going to be pretty well worn and stained. They still do have quite a bit of value that'll really help you out if you need the extra cash. This is kind of a strange one right here. Someone must have been doing some hunting for a number of years, but this is a lot of 20, count them 20, 1925S Buffalo Nickels. Not exactly the easiest state to find either, especially in high mid-state grades, but each and every single one of these 20 coins are the missing feather, or what they call the two feather variety. These are well known in the Cherry Picker's Guide. I believe it's one of the more common dates that you can find of this, obviously, because we're staring at 20 of them right here. But yeah, this is a collection. A best offer was accepted in the amount of $475.25. So yeah, that did just happen. That puts each one at about 20 to 20 some odd dollars a piece, which is a fair rate on all of them. Now, there were a few that have a very weak date on them. And, you know, the grades tend to range in that good to like a lower level fine condition. So there's no one particular coin that's not going to blow you away by condition standards. So this person decided, well, I'd rather just sell them all as a group rather than one at a time and just be done with it. There might be someone out there that could turn these into a little bit extra money, you know, maybe sell them for 30, 35 bucks a piece. There might be that kind of like area to slip into where you could do that. Here's our other 2023 Extra V Lincoln set. This one is actually killer looking. This is a good looking coin right here. This particular one, I would say, probably fits in that 65 to 66 grade range from what I could see. I mean, we really don't need any extra explanation. We know this one. This particular one sold for a little bit more than the previous at $34. All right, so that's a nice one there. All right, well, here's one of the old ones that we don't see too often. Wow, the price has really dropped on these. 2021 Washington Quarter. This is the Crossing the Delaware reverse. I really love this design. It's one that I feel like will probably never go old. It has drummer boy vibes here. Well, this is the good old Crown die chip reverse, as we all know it here. Yeah, so it hurts to know that this one sold for $30. There you go. Yeah, these are not, they're not even $50 to $75 like they were selling for about 6 months ago. I mean, this $30, guys, man. If you're looking for one of these, and this one's actually in decent shape, it might be a good time for you to, try and find one. And these are always nasty looking, man. These things are big, the big old hamburger crown, as I used to refer them to. I would say never goes old, but the prices, they've certainly retreated a little bit. Here's just a really nice off-center Lincoln Memorial set. This one is a copper, all right? So we don't have to worry about that pesky copper-coated zinc composition that we all know and loathe. This one's off-center by about 45%, and this one sold for $24.55. It's a good-looking coin, very nice shape. Not much more else we could say about this. All right, so a little disclaimer, this one is cleaned, but it's a really good variety, 1930 Buffalo nickel. This thing is worn slick, and it looks like someone wanted to really clean this one up. But this is a well-known variety. This is a doubled die obverse. It's the FS102. All right, so this is the second variety of that type. This one, you can see the doubled eyelid on the Indian on the front. And not to mention that some of the other items are doubled on here, like the feathers and things like that. But that eyelid is the big marker for this doubled die. So this one right here, $13.50 off of a couple bids. It's not too crazy, but nicer ones that are generally problem-free will command like $25 and up. So it's a good variety to find on an otherwise very common date. Again, this is a Philadelphia 1930. Speaking of getting cheaper, the brand new rolls of 2024 Lincoln cents, they are out there. The Denver ones are the ones that are getting hit the hardest right now. The Philadelphias, there's not a whole lot of them out there, and those are still commanding a really decent premium. So this one here is a lot of 5 full bank wrap rolls of 2024 Denvers. And $14.25 was the sale price with 11 bids, and that's also with shipping included. So by the time you factor in the $2.50 face value, along with the eBay fees and shipping, this person probably make about $2 in profit. So, it was bound to happen. I did warn everybody that these things, will begin to mold on you after a little while. So take it out of the fridge, toss them out, sell them by a full bank box. And that's probably your best bet on these in order to make about 3x face value. So there you go. All right, our big hitter of the week has to be this one here. I mean, come on, guys. What do I always tell you about any sort of mid-error on a bicentennial quarter? They're massive. This one has a tremendous amount of strike-through on the obverse there. You can even see a little bit on the reverse, too. The drummer boy's face is kind of flat there to indicate that there was some grease on that reverse die. But yeah, crazy. I mean, if this was on any other date of quarter, we'd be talking about a $25 collectible. But on this one right here, this coin right here is sold for $46 with 3 bids. I had that off-center struck bicentennial quarter, the one that sold for like $700 about a week ago. I mean, you just see just this massive price difference between these and, like, say, a 77 quarter with the same event is worth half. So figuring a 2x premium on a lot of the coins. That off-center struck Washington Bicentennial that we saw in my last PCMR is a pretty huge kind of chaser right there. So again, keep an eye out on these. If you have some pretty significant errors, they're worth quite a bit of money. We do have a pair of 1946 Lincoln Wheat Cents. This one is broad struck out of collar. As you can see, it's decent, save for a couple carbon spots. This one sold for $37.99. And we also had this one here, again, another broad strike, not as crazy looking as the previous example, but from the same seller. This one sold for $32.99. All right, well, the word is out, and people are looking for these, and we've seen a number of them sell just in the last 30 days. I don't know if it's because I've been talking about them and people have been listing them and going out and actively searching for these, but the inkwell contamination errors on these newer notes is like all the rage right now, and it's really insane. I actually like seeing this. So you're going to notice a completely kind of different coloration in the serial numbers. You have your regular normal green there on the right side, and then the serial number string on the left appears almost black. All right, and that is a contamination of the black ink from the district seal well going into the well of green for that particular serial number. Because they're like side by side, it's a really easy thing for it to happen. So this example here is actually in really nice shape. A few of them that we've seen have been selling between $75 and $100 right out of the strap or right out of change. This particular one right here sold for $53.36. Again, quite a bit of value here, and they're, from what I've seen, they're not particularly rare. You could find these if you're a strap searcher. Your odds of finding one is going to be far greater than if you don't search through them at all. The next one that we have here is a really nice double struck 1973 Lincoln Memorial set. The secondary strike is about 85% off center, and you do have a little bit of a partial date there on that off center strike. $80.74. Sometimes something like this will go for way too cheap at a coin shop. I've actually cherried a few of these at about $25-$30 a piece, and if they have like a pretty decent amount of design detail on the off-center strike part of it, that's where a lot more of the values come into play. And here's another one that just kind of came out of nowhere. This is a 1977 Jefferson nickel that was accidentally struck on a dime planchet. Look how small this thing is, and not to mention the weakness in the overall strike because it's a much thinner planchet. This particular coin, even though with all of these scratches and scrapes on the obverse, still managed to command $625 in auction here in the last day or two. This is a pretty significant type of mint error. It's one of the more scarce types that you will find out there. Sometimes we've seen nickels struck on penny planchets. This is the one right here that we don't see nearly as often. Here's a 1945 D silver war nickel. Okay, I mean, keep an eye out on any date of war nickel from 42 to 45, and always take a close look at the mint marks. There is a myriad of different repunch mint marks. Just take a look at a website like VarietyVista.com, and you're going to see dozens of various listings of different repunch mint marks. It'll blow your mind. This one right here is RPM number 30 for this date, and you can see that secondary Denver mint mark is punched slightly west and then a little bit south there. You can see that extra top serif poking out there. $21.96 on this sale, and I've cherried a whole bunch of these. So they're quite common. There's a bunch of them. And, for a coin that normally you would pay $8 to $10 for, you could turn that into 2x, 3x your money, depending on which one you find. Our good old boy Coins and Cards had yet again another 1955 Lincoln Wheat Cent DDO. This thing is legit. The only problem is that it's a details coin. This thing has been cleaned and polished. As you can see on this one, the surfaces are really irregular. They got the hairlines flowing every which way. And the seller did mention that it's a details coin. This is going to be always the biggest variety out there till the end of time. This example, still in this condition, managed to squeak by $2,325. So that's with 62 total bids. No slouch here. Still a pretty big, hefty price tag on a coin that is highly desired across all different collector bases. Here's another lot right here. This is actually quite a neat one. This is a lot of 6 off-center struck coins. We have what looks to be, a 95p nickel, an 81p nickel, a 73p dime, 85p quarter, and a couple undated Lincoln sets. So the 6 coins you see here together ended up selling for $81 with 25 bids. There is a possibility where you can make some money here because the 4 best coins that show full read, these will typically sell in that $25 to $30 range. So you're maybe not going to 2x your money naturally, but maybe, probably make about 60% profit margin. That's not too bad. That's something that may be worth considering. And here's a completely different listing. This is not one of those off-center strikes. It's an 85p Washington quarter. This one is off-center by about 20%, 25%. And it's a really nice shape. These are collected by date. So if this is one that someone needs, obviously it's going to get scooped up based off of its quality. This one sold for $48.55, and that's with 5 bids. Very nice, healthy sale here. And here's a 97p with a just good old regular sheet clip there with some Blakesley effect. Okay, nothing too dramatic. This one sold for $8.64, and that's with 3 bids. Here's a very well-worn Georgia State quarter, 99 Philly, and this one is also slightly off-center, maybe an uncentered broad strike. And this one commanded $25.84 as a quick buy it now hit. These are quite popular. People are looking to find every state with an off-center type of error, and this is yet again another instance where this is going to be needed. Here's a 2000 Lincoln Memorial set. This particular one right here is struck through a very late stage capped die. So you have a nice heavy strike on the reverse, and then you have weekend devices on the front of the coin, which shows here. So that cap must be incredibly razor thin for it to show some of the devices from the die that eventually transferred through there. So this one right here ended up selling for $34.86. Great coin. I like this one. And we also have this one here. This is a monster. Notice it's not graded at all. It's a 2000 Lincoln Memorial set. It's broad struck, but also struck through a shifted, I believe, cap die with some brockage on there. This thing is as nutty as it looks. It is a copper-coated zinc. You can see the amount of copper splitting all throughout the reverse on this one. And this one sold for $58.98 with 11 bids. Here's a 1974 $5 bill with a shifted overprint alignment on there. So it's shifted pretty dramatically to the right. So the sheet was shifted at this point to create this. And I would say all the notes on the sheet were affected. All right. When we look at the reverse, perfectly centered on this one. And this one did sell for $170.95 with 39 bids. A very desirable currency error. Here's another struck through cap die. In this particular case, it looks to be like a 1980s copper. It looks to be a 1980, as far as date. You have that nice strong strike on the reverse. The obverse, you have the wrinkling in there, which indicates that cap probably is beginning to wrinkle and do all sorts of weird stuff because it's razor thin. It's like almost like a piece of tissue paper at this point. So this one right here, nice sale, $73.86 with 19 bids. this is a crazy one. I like seeing coins that look like this. 1984 P Jefferson nickel, slightly off center, and with some damage or some scrapes and scratches all throughout the front and back of the coin. This one sold for $12.37 with 4 bids. And the final coin for this edition of PCMR, our 27th coin of the list, is going to be this 1980s Jefferson nickel. Again, struck through a very late stage cap die on there, so there was a coin stuck to the die when these were struck. And pretty good one, considering that we normally see these on Lincoln cents, and very rarely do we see them on nickels and quarters and much bigger coins. This one right here sold for $46.87 with 12 bids. And again, keep in mind, ladies and gents, none of these are graded. All right, no need for that, because grading doesn't necessarily add value to any specific mint error. For the most part, it just guarantees that it's legit if you need it. All right, that's going to go ahead and do it. This video is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is financial advice. Please do collect and grade responsibly as always. And that's it. I'm out of here, guys, before my head explodes from all of the allergies. Wanted to get through this as quickly as possible. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. And I do, again, appreciate all your guys' feedback. So go ahead and comment below if you'd like. But that's it. I'm out of here. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your weekend. Best of luck in all of your future hunts. So long.